everybody. Yes, we have our guest artist today, Ian Jackson. Excellent watercolors. He doesn't like me to say the E word of expert. He prefers excellent. Excellent watercolor painter. He will be painting 2 watercolor paintings today because we took a poll survey and it was tied. It was tied at the moment that I had to contact him. It was tied for first place for insect and fish. And since then, after I had contacted him, actually insect became the number one. Number one for the poll survey was that people did want to see him paint an insect. So he is going to be painting a kind of insect today, and he is going to be painting a kind of fish today in hour 1 and hour 2. Going to divide it up into hour 1 and hour 2. Oh, let's see. Welcome, whoever came into the chat. And we had our guest artist, Ian Jackson, is going to be here soon. We had a little glitch before we went live. We did have a little glitch, and I forget what happened. Was let's see. Bo Clam, welcome. So nice to see you. Grayscale Painting, welcome again. Welcome. We're waiting for Ian to come online, my guest artist. And let me bring up the chat on my iPad, which I can see it better there. So nice to see everybody in the chat. So nice. And I appreciate your support. And it's taking me a while for he was on here before we went live. Ian Jackson, our guest watercolorist, he was on here and he froze up. He froze up, and I told him, and then I had to message him that he froze up, and geez, he has not come back yet. So I am a little concerned. But let me check the chat. Morning chat? No. No, I probably didn't even name this chat. I did name this chat. Okay, hold on. No, wait a minute. I want to officially welcome the people in the chat in just a minute. Yep, guest, artist, paint, and chat. So my title and my thumbnail is correct. Hi, Boclam. Carolyn is here. Love the Steelers colors. Oh, where do you see that? The Steelers colors. Hello, yes, hello there again, Grayscale. So nice to see you again. And let me switch this to live chat. I have it on top chat. It's better to view it on live chat. Oh my goodness. We had my guest artist. He was here. I don't know what his. Oh, and he came here before that we went live. And then we were talking and he froze up, and he froze up, and now he's gone. And I messaged him saying that I don't know, because I didn't know that he knew that he froze up. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Here he is, our guest artist, excellent watercolorist, Ian Jackson, is going to do 2 watercolor paintings today based on the poll survey that we had of what kind of animal to paint. And the tie was between insect and insect and what was the other one? Oh God, insect and oh my goodness. Maybe Ian's gonna remind me. Hi, Ian. Insect and
Hello.
fish. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
insect and fish. Oh my goodness. The
Yes.
tie between
So,
insect and then actually after I talked to you, the poll survey went way out ahead with insect. They
did it?
really want to
Really?
see insect.
Well, we've already looked at a picture to do, haven't we? And we've gone for a butterfly, which reminds me, I need to put the image up on the screen. So,
And I am going to feature him right now. Put him on feature, full screen. There we go. We can see his full picture, his full paper size.
it's not a very large. It's not a
Did you say
very
it was
large
5 by 8
painting anyway.
inches? 5 by 8 inches?
No, it's around about 8 inches, but width-wise, it's just short of 5 3/4 inch.
Almost
Almost 6 inch.
almost 6 by 8 inches.
Yeah, I would say.
And he's accommodating us by saying in inches because they, in his country, in the UK, they go by centimeters, right?
That's right. Yeah. And it's 8 and 3/8. Three, I think that's what it is. I think 3 of them little bits. Can't remember. We weren't properly taught any of that inches stuff when we went to school. We had to work it out
You
ourselves.
learned about inches in your school?
Not really. We were swapping over at the time when I were at school. It was swapping over from being inches to going on to metric. So we were very confused.
Because
we learnt a little bit, but not enough to remember it all. To be frank.
No, yeah, right. When I was going to school, we did everything in inches, but they did say we needed to know centimeters because that could become the world metric system.
And guess what? It happened. It did.
It is the world.
It is the world metric system.
I think it's the United States that is still on the inches. Well, I don't know what you call that. I don't know. It's not
traditionally that feet and inches is called the imperial measurement.
Our system with inches is called the imperial.
Yeah, well, it was borrowed off of the British system.
Yeah, the UK is that the UK,
right? Yeah. Britain were independent. Well, you can in certain environments, it's better to use inches than it is large scale. It's better to use inches, feet and inches. For small scale, yeah. For small scale, it's better. But just a second.
Oh, that's very interesting. So yes, okay.
So anyway, that's a little bit about measurement. So, are we ready to get on with everybody? Is everybody here?
Get on with it. Grayscale painting. We are still the inches, feet, as well as another country. I don't know what to talk about. Okay. Yeah, we're ready to get on with it.
So, what do you want to do first? Do you want to do insect or fish?
Okay, what's the vote? What's the vote in the chat? Insect or fish first? What's the vote?
You'll have to let me know because I've not got YouTube.
Take some time to type it in there. We're going to take time. It's going to take time to type it in there. If you think that you're not gonna have enough time to paint it, let me know. Maybe I could I should cut it short.
No, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about. It's going to be 2 hours, right?
Okay. You're going to do
1 hour each.
Right.
Because they're only
Carolyn says insect, but we're waiting for some more votes. Oh, Grayscale Painting says insect. Okay, we're waiting just for a couple more votes. Because we only have five watching.
Right. Well, once you get 3, that's a majority, isn't it?
Okay. Once we get 3, that's the majority. We're waiting for the third vote because that's going to be the majority vote.
Well, it might be.
Okay, waiting for the third one.
Oh,
we need one more person to vote. Please vote. Yeah, we're waiting for another person to vote. Come on, please vote. Grayscale, Carolyn voted. Vote Clan, can you please vote? Insect, do you want to see insect first? Or what was the other one?
Fish.
Fish. Do you want to see insect or fish? Oh my God, Carolyn, come on, you can't vote again. Oh my goodness.
No,
Carolyn,
no double voting. That's cheating.
Buddy, he just got in here. Buddy, do you want to see?
Something else I'm gonna do.
Do you want to see Ian paint insect first or fish first? Oh, Chrissy just came in. Insect, that's it. Insect is insect.
Right. That's the majority of people here say they want to see an insect.
Insect painted first.
I'll just already. All right.
And I tell you that I was the one that chose the insect.
Yes, you chose the picture.
I chose the insect because I took a poll survey on my community tab, and I said, "Do you want?" Because they said because Ian said he would like to pick an animal this week, and it was mammal, and I can't remember what the other one was. Insect and
a second.
Fish, and we had 4 categories, and the survey showed that
ready to go then.
Insect and fish were the top 2 runners, and then after I looked at it a day later, insect was winning. Insect was the top.
Mm-hmm.
And so after he paints an insect, he is going to be painting a fish, and he wanted me to choose the insect, and I did choose a butterfly.
Yes, in her infinite wisdom, Diana chose a butterfly.
In my infinite wisdom,
which is good for me. Which is good for me because they're dead easy. They're really easy to do.
I don't want to see a cockroach. I do not want to see a mosquito. I don't want to see a beetle. Insects are creepy to me. I do not want to see an ant. But butterflies are the beautiful insect.
Well, there's some other beautiful insects. Anyway, I'm gonna
grasshopper, cricket. I should have chose something more unusual. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, this, because at the end of the day, what it actually helps represent is it's a complicated drawing, and you might get put off and not draw it. You might not go, oh no, I can't. It's complicated. Well, let's break it down into small component parts that we can all draw. But when I
a good one too. Dragonfly. I could have picked dragonfly.
Dragonfly, yeah, that's another good one. So what I want to do is identify the extremities on this butterfly. So I've done a line there, and I'm going to draw another line about there, and we've got a line going through there, and that's going to be at length for its body.
And Carol,
sorry,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, Carolyn 2-3 says we have a swarm of dragonflies here in North Carolina migrating. I could have picked dragonfly. I'm sorry. I could have picked that too. That's right.
They're just weird butterflies, aren't they? Dragonflies.
They're different, but they're similar to butterflies, but they're different.
They're not that dissimilar. I once got attacked by a gigantic one once. It was massive.
A gigantic what? Dragonfly?
The really large one. It was like mothership, honestly. Gigantic thing. So I've plotted out where I'm going to have the head. The head isn't very heavily featured. So it's going to be round about there. And about, if we're thinking about there to there as the rest of the body, right? It goes about a quarter of the way down the I forget what the top part is called. Is it is the bottom part the abdominal?
Oh my goodness. I think so. I think you're right. I think that is what it's called. The head,
and that bit, yeah. This
right?
this bit up here is called a thorax.
Oh, you know that. The thorax, that's right.
And the bit that connects to the thorax is the head. So basically, right, I'm gonna put a 2/3 line there, right? And that's my proportions for my butterfly. So all I want to do now is, I know they're like little ovals, like that. That's that. And again, at this end, it wants to taper off to a fine point. So I'm just going to put a fine point there. And this one comes out just as wide as that. So I'm going to bring it out like that.
Oh, and everybody, he hardly ever does this, doing the drawing on camera. He usually has the drawing done ahead of time, but he's doing the drawing on camera with us.
How simple was that to get the body drawn? There you go, it's done.
What did you say?
That's the body drawn with a few simple lines.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's it for
the slightly more complicated bit to draw next is its wings. So in the middle of this bit here, we're going to put a little bit of a parting and a parting there, right? And that's where that wing goes, or the separation for the wing goes like that. And in this particular butterfly, it curves around like that. So that's your first wing. And I'm going to do exactly the same here.
But I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes.
With this, it comes almost straight down because it's at a different angle. It's the same thing, but it's a different angle. So project that right down, and then do the same with this.
Talking about that's for the wing, right?
Yeah. And
it comes off of the side of the head.
This curves like that. No, not the side of the head. It still goes on not the thorax. I forgot. I've just told you it, and I forgot what I call it now.
I thought that was the head. I thought it was the head and the thorax.
No. The head goes there.
Oh, that little tiny thing.
Yeah, you only see a little bit of the head. They only have tiny heads. You've got that there. Your thorax is your main body part, and then there's this bit here, which I've just told you, but I forgot what I called it.
Oh, well. I forget. You said thorax, and then that's what I remember, but I don't remember the other thing.
Yeah, the thorax is the bottom of your body. That's the same as a human. A human has a thorax.
Really?
Bottom part, yeah. Bottom part.
I've never heard them call it that. Really?
Yeah, the bottom part of your body is a thorax.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So, again, we're going to use that, and we'll come out so far, and we're going to say, right, that's where I'm going to end the other part of the wing, and then I'm going to come to about halfway from there to there is there, and I'm going to a nice big curve until it comes well beyond that line there.
Let me take time out, please. I have to welcome people. If I didn't say Chrissy Campus Art, welcome. If I didn't say it, she says not painting anything yet, just getting the drawing done. I don't know what she's saying, but yes, Welcome, Chrissy. Welcome.
We're not going to be long because it's not going to take that long to actually draw this. Really, I just wanted to.
Welcome.
I just wanted to show you that you can simply draw something like this. You don't have to panic about drawing something that looks complicated.
It's okay. So you just make it a simple drawing, and then you can make it more complex in the painting.
Exactly. You do your complexity, and
that's a good tip to know.
You do all the complex stuff in the painting.
Okay.
All you're drawing is a roadmap to where you're going to be painting.
And you're drawing pretty heavy just so that we can see what you're drawing.
Yeah, I'm drawing quite hard. Which
normally you would not be drawing that dark.
I would not draw onto the paper normally. I'd draw it separately and then transfer it.
Oh.
But for the sake of demonstration, what I can see with the other wing, right? See that line there? It kind of follows on in a kind of parallel path like that. And I'm going to project it out as far as I feel I want to. And then I'm going to come back to this. And you've got to give yourself like an idea of where, if you look at that, it goes up and like that. So I'm going to go out that way and out that way. And then
Grayscale painting. Do you know him?
I do, yes.
He's saying anatomy lesson and art tutorial. Sweet.
Well, animal anatomy.
Butterfly, right? Anatomy of a butterfly.
Animal butterfly, and then your average everyday butterfly has those stereotypical antennae, don't they?
Yes.
On a butterfly a lot, you also can see the little curly thing there, which I'm going to put in it, and that's called a proboscis.
Would you call that what? Which one?
There's a little circular bit that it eats with, and it's basically it's like a straw that it uses to drink things, and it's called a proboscis, and it curls up into a little circle.
Yeah,
that's it, just on its mouth.
Like I don't know why she's saying that. I don't know what the difference. Besides their color, I don't even know what the difference in anatomy between the. Okay, go ahead.
There's very little difference. In fact, some moths do get mistaken for butterflies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I'm going to draw on top of this now is, and this is to remind me, is the segments of this that are dark. So I'm just going to go like that. That's dark. There's a line there. There's a line there. There's a couple of spots there. And there's a bit of dark there. And that area there. And that's it, we're ready. Oh no, tell a lie. The only thing we've got to do now is put it on the thing that it's actually resting on, a thistle or some sort of flower. So let's just.
Right, I had it on a thistle flower, right?
Yeah, it looks like a thistle. I'm assuming it's some kind of thistle. They do like landing on things like that, butterflies.
You said they don't?
No, they do like it. Yeah,
they do like it.
They like going on things like that. I don't know why, but they do. It's probably purple. They like the colour purple, probably. So anyway, but I don't know. I'm not a butterfly. I'm not a butterfly specialist. It might be the perfume it gives off, or something.
Oh, that, yes, the right. Like color. I don't know.
Basically, that's done. Although I have made the error of it probably not being as centralized as I would like. It probably could have done been that, because I've drawn it direct to the page. I'm not going to worry about that. So now we've got the drawing. I just want to take a little bit of this off because it's a little bit hard and heavy. That
he was making it darker so we could see it better on this camera.
There you go.
So normally you would not be drawing it so dark.
There you go. I mean, you can still see it just vaguely, can't you? So we're now ready to start painting. Right. As is normal with watercolor painting, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to get me brush. I'm going to do background. That's going to be really highly focused, the butterfly, and the background needs to emphasize that. That needs to be really, really out of focus, very blurred.
All right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna get some really light yellow first. Always start with your lightest colours.
Always start with your lightest colors. Okay.
Yeah, always start with the light.
That's what I say. Yeah.
You don't have to do that with acrylics or oils or any paint that is opaque, which means you can't see through it. But with watercolor being transparent, that means the disadvantage of that is that you have to do your lights first, or you'll not see them. Right, so so I've got some base color down.
We have to promote you. Okay, I have to put Ian Jackson on link channel link in the chat. He does have paintings for sale. If you do like this, when he's done, he's gonna do another painting after this. He does have his paintings for sale.
This one is really just a practice one, but I do have other paintings for sale. Just have a look at me.
He does have you don't have a website, but you put all your paintings for sale on your Facebook business page, right?
On Facebook, yeah.
His Facebook page.
If anybody is interested in any of my paintings,
right, or if you want to
just contact me.
He will do.
They're not expensive. So.
Yeah, he will do a picture of you as a couple, or Jerry is in the chat. Maybe you want a picture of you and your wife, watercolor painting of you and your wife. He will do that as a commission. He's very good.
Right.
I mean, or some people, place, or things. So if there's a place that you really love, because we had Paul's Blind Suit for the Soul that loves a certain place in Oregon, and with the mountains and the lake, and he took a picture of it, and Ian painted a watercolor of it, and Paul, and Paul loved it and paid him for it. So people, places, and things.
I'm very grateful to anybody who patronizes me. Wrong word.
Gary, I see that in your icon.
I think it's patronize, isn't it?
Gary, I see you have in your icon, you and your wife. You might want to have a picture paint of that, or if your children, grandchildren, maybe you want watercolor paintings, portraits done of your children or grandchildren, and think of, please think of the Christmas season. The holiday season coming up soon. You might want to think about.
Hey, you might soon see me on Barnsley Market as well.
I never heard of that. What's that?
It's a market. It's a local town, and I'm seeing about whether I can get a little market stall at some point, which will be nice. Right, what you got to do with this now is make sure that you don't. I'm adding some greens. But what I don't want is really hard edges, because what does blurriness do? It doesn't have hard edges.
That's right. It doesn't have hard edges. That's right. Did you see me when I was doing my oh my goodness, with the alcohol ink painting? I've never, because I usually use like soft chalk pastels or digital art for doing Galaxy. So it was my first time doing a Galaxy, and oh my goodness, with alcohol inks the other day. But one person who actually thought it turned out pretty good, like, because I don't know, it looked like, yeah, go ahead.
Maybe you needed to have a lot more alcohol on the surface before. You know what I mean? You know, like,
yeah,
I coat it.
I could have done that. I could have flooded. I never thought. Yes, I could have flooded the whole surface with the alcohol, right?
Just remember, with alcohol-based inks and all that sort of stuff, right? The thing that makes it travel is the alcohol.
That's right. So you never used alcohol inks, though, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
You have never used alcohol inks, right?
Oh, no, I've used alcohol inks before. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
it's been around for.
Okay, you're right.
Stuff like that's been around for decades.
Yeah, but I never like, really. I don't think people know that. Alcohol.
Do you know? Well, it suddenly become really,
not
really
like
popular
because nobody talks about that as a traditional medium, as if watercolor, acrylic, oil.
Oh no, they're not. I mean, it's not been around as long as those particular things, but it's not as new as you think it is. It's become popular recently because of craft people like to use it a lot for doing backgrounds and all that sort of stuff. So it has become a lot more popular than it used to be, but they have been around as a tool for as long as I can remember doing art, to be frank.
Okay, I gotta put your link in. Hold on. Hi, JC. Welcome.
Right. I might need to, at this stage, do a bit of drying. If I can find the drying.
Go ahead, try, and I gotta put I have to put your link in, your channel link.
Now, I'm just wondering whether I've got enough plug points. Yes, I have. It's official. I have enough of a plug point. One plug point left. It's really weird that. My computer tells me that something's plugging in when it's. I mean, all it is, right? I've just plugged this in, right? And my computer told me.
I have the same thing as oh no, I have a different one.
My computer's told me that this device that has no computer connection whatsoever.
Oh my goodness!
Has just plugged in. It makes that.
How can it do that? I never heard of such a thing.
I've not got a clue what that has no
crazy.
Unless it measures electrical resistance when it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That it would identify that some kind of electronic equipment.
The annoying thing is, half the time it doesn't even tell me, but when something that is plugged in doesn't do it.
Goodness, really?
It's really annoying, yeah. Anyway, I'm going for it because we've got limited time, and
don't worry, StreamYard's good. There we go. StreamYard just muted that out.
It did, and that means I can talk to you as well.
StreamYard mute your sound, mute the sound of that air dryer out on its own.
I tell you what, this paper that I'm using, right? There's an interesting story. I'll tell you when I've stopped doing the.
Okay.
When I've stopped doing this, I'll tell you this interesting story about this. I think what I might do with that is, just a second. Where are you? There you are. Overspill. I've got to get rid of overspill. I'm going to get rid of that as well. There you go. That's a bit overspilly as well. Right. I'll continue on with the drying. can continue to talk.
That's all right. I'm trying to put your link in. Sorry. I'm trying to put in hi, Catherine and Elliot. Welcome. Wait. Oh my goodness. It didn't go through there. There it is. There it is. Please check out Ian Jackson's link channel. I mean.
There we go.
Hi, Grayscale Painting again. Welcome. Oh, must see TV. I don't know what he's talking about. He has us on TV. He watches us on Apple TV.
All right. I'm just as that's gone a funny green color. I'm gonna just get some more fresh water, and I'll be back in a second.
Okay, he'll be back in a second. And there he's willing to do commissions of portraits, places, or things. So if you have like a special car that you like or something like that, or a place like you vacation that you really love, or people in your life like you and your spouse, you want to watercolor, you want a watercolor portrait painted of you and your spouse or your child or grandchild, nieces, nephews, godchildren. He has very reasonable prices. He actually prices way down too low than he should, and but he's from the UK, and it's so much rigmarole, it's craziness with the postage system of trying to, and plus the from transferring his currency over to the U.S. currency, but he has very reasonable prices because yeah, and
well, so long as it
for gift giving and season,
so long as it pays its way and it don't incur a major financial debt on me, then I'm not bothered how much it makes. And as long as people love the art that I make for them, I'm not bothered.
Thank you, Chrissy, for welcoming people coming in. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chrissy. I'm sorry I'm not in the chat at the moment because I'm doing this. So, right, we've been quite soft with the background. Now I want to be a bit more, a bit
right,
more.
That's how it should be because it's in the distance.
A bit more aggressive with the wings because I want them to be. So it needs to be less water and more paint.
And it's going to be more sharp edges, right?
Yeah, it will be. From here on, it'll be a lot more sharp. I'll start here. That might be a little bit soft, and this area here, which is the nearest bit to you.
It's interesting how you change the composition of like the Pixabay photo that I sent you of the butterfly on the thistle.
Really?
Oh, wait a minute. Did you? Oh no, you just made it like you didn't. All you did was just made it fill up the page more. Okay, that just okay, now I see it. I see it now. Okay.
Right.
It's practically the same photo. It's practically the same composition I sent you, right?
I'm not really going to be. I mean, it's a butterfly. We need to keep it simple and just do the basics well.
Right.
Really. So, yeah, I'm going to first of all again, right? And this is an interesting point about any kind of painting is, in any painting, there's always going to be a base color, which goes all the way through the painting to help it to be a consistent thing.
And it's going to be one color? One color?
It's going to be one color. So what have we already used color-wise?
Green.
We've used a green. Well, we can't really use a green in the butterfly, can we?
You're going to use orange or black?
I'm gonna use yellow. Remember when I first started, we put a yellow in it across it, didn't we? Before we put the green on. So I'm gonna put a yellow in this to start with.
And that's going to be the overriding color that runs through the whole thing?
Yeah. And I'm not too bothered about whether it goes into the black area. It's irrelevant, that. I just want a nice base coat of yellow that goes like that. Because it's only like an undercoat, this. So you don't have to be overly stressy about it. And that again will have a yellow, and we'll do exactly the same here as well. Now, the actual butterfly itself is an orange. The wings are orange.
Yeah, it's orangey. So
yeah.
What do you say? This yellow, this is like a yellow undercolor
going
on.
Because if I just went in and just painted it orange, it would be boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry that now, and then we'll put a layer of orange over it, and that's your wings done. Now, before I go any farther, I'll just nip out some of this, just to get a bit of texture. I don't know whether you can see that when I'm doing this, but it kind of gives it that added bit of texture.
In the background you're talking about, or in the butterfly?
Yeah, because if you can add value to the...
I thought they had dried already in the background.
No, not the background. I'm doing the wings. All I'm doing now is that wing area. I'm getting the base coat yellow into that area, the wings. And once that's dry, I'm going to put an orange over it. But what I want to do is just get a little bit of variation in tonal value in it. Because the more variation you can get in it, the more it looks like you've done a lot of detail. We aren't doing any detail at all. That's one of the tricks of doing watercolor painting.
How do you feel about other paintings? Do you think the same thing?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
It's just like fooling the eye.
Yeah. If you can get values in there at the base level, you can fool the eye into thinking that it's got lots of detail. But you have to do. You can't. A lot of artists go on and put 5 inches worth of paint on it. You're not going to do it like that. It has to be done in very thin glazes. Even if you're doing it with oils or acrylics, they have to be transparent and they have to be thin glazes, and you build those glazes up as textures, and that then looks like detail. And then people think, oh wow, that's so detailed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. You just created textures that interact with one another. Let the painting paint the picture. Right. What I'm going to now do is this butterfly's final colour, right? Which is like it's I don't know. Should I put a little bit of that?
Yes. How are you, Mr. Jackson?
I'm great. I think I'm cooking on gas. I'm cooking on gas.
You're cooking with gas.
Yes.
But you're a night owl, right? So
sometimes I am, yeah.
Sometimes
I've had a bit of a cold last week or so.
Not so much.
I've limited myself to how late I've stayed up, but I am quite active at night. The best thing is about night is we've got horrible neighbours that have very noisy with the dogs. Then you wonder why I don't like pets. Honestly, it sounds like they've got. It sounds like they've got a set of werewolves. all day.
Yeah,
all
dogs
day.
are related. Dogs are that's their cousins. Werewolves are no, there's no werewolves. I mean, like wolves are their cousins.
Wolves are. Well, these sound like them.
Yes,
Honestly.
they're related to the wolf family. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, the Greek word is exactly the same, isn't it? As for dogs, is it Latin?
Yes,
Lycos.
we always talk about Latin. My dad he was an expert on Latin. He would always tell me the Latin derivation of different words.
Yeah. So, I believe it's Lycos, isn't it? But right, so that ironically enough that's its end color.
You believe it's what?
What? Lycos. Lycos.
Lycos. I can't hear the.
Lycos is the Latin or Greek word for dog.
Oh gosh, I never knew that. Okay.
What's
What's the Latin word for dog?
Lycos.
Okay, all right.
And again, I'm creating areas of tonal difference with that.
Oh, Carolyn to be free spelled it Lycos. Lycos.
Yeah, I don't know how you spell it. And my excuse is because I'm dyslexic. I don't do spelling.
Oh, okay. Be right, JC. Hope to see you back here. She was showing her artwork collection earlier in the earlier live stream.
Right. That's the strong
All right,
color.
Gracie has an art question.
All right.
She says, Ian, I have an art question.
Yay, go on.
With watercolors, how do I make my backgrounds better? I always mess the backgrounds up. Any advice or tips? Thank you.
Right. It all depends on whether
you can make your backgrounds totally messy looking. You could, right?
Exactly, yeah. It all depends on whether you want your background to be a prominent feature. If you don't want it to be a prominent feature, then just knock it back into the background.
Yeah, don't make it. Backgrounds could be like totally like splashes and colors if you wanted.
And what you have to do, the farther something gets away, the wetter it is. You know what I did? I mean, I absolutely saturated all that area with water.
So that made it all soft edges.
So when I put paint on it, it just dispersed. It went like that.
So it's best for backgrounds to be like soft edges. Is that right?
Yeah. Make as best you can, soft edges. So now we're starting to get some of this black detail that it has. So what I am going to do is I'm going to find an area that's oh, this is not going to be easy. I'm going to get a blue, right, like ultramarine blue, and I'm going to try and find me brown because light's a bit funny here at the moment. And I don't know whether I'm. No, that's a blue. Right. Where's my brown? Just a second, I've got to turn my lights on.
Tony's Reviews, welcome. Nice to see you in here. Thank you for thumbing up the live stream.
I'm using a palette that it's got a multitude of browns in it and stuff and blues that I can't see the difference between any of them. Right, so I'm going to get some burnt umber and some ultramarine blue, and I'm going to make, if you can see.
And Gracie says
that. I'm making that, which is like
Ultramarine blue and what else?
Ultramarine blue and burnt umber, which is a brown.
Right.
And it makes a muted reddish blue black. You can't tell with the human eye that that's not black.
You're creating your own black. Are you? Are you creating your own black?
Yeah, I'm creating a black, but it's a lot. You put that up against black, and you'll tell the difference. I don't tend to use blacks.
Yeah, I know. A lot of artists, they would prefer to create their own black, right?
Tonally, it makes a lot more sense because black is extremely strong. It's only to be used in certain circumstances.
And like what, for example, what circumstances?
A good example is monochromatic painting.
Ah.
Where see, black is very aggressive. There's only a few things that can stand up to black, like the primaries.
Primary colors. Okay.
Primary colors can stand up to black, but anything else other than that is very weak against it. So,
right.
That's why people use a mixture of colors that are made from the primary colors to make black, so that it's not as strong, so that the other colors can work with it. Yeah.
Right. The Impressionists never used black. That's where I first heard that an artist didn't use black was the Impressionists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Picasso. He might have used black.
Don't get me wrong. There are areas where there's only black will do the job. So I'm not saying you shouldn't use black. Black's an incredibly good thing for adjusting tonal things. That's what I like to use black for.
Like, what do you like? Like, what do you mean?
Well, it's the opposite of, like, if I've not got any pink in my color set, right? Which I haven't. I've got reds and I've got oranges.
Right.
If I want to make that lighter, what do I put in it to make it pink? I put white in it. Yeah.
Right.
That means I'm adjusting it tonally, right?
Yes.
If I want to make it darker, it's the opposite. You use black. It's as simple as that. And that's what you do.
And then we have Christopher Baker, who says, I'm not a painter, but black does sound like an unforgiving color.
It's extremely aggressive. In different paints have different attributes, and some want to dominate heavily, and that's what some colors do. That's why you've got to be careful.
You would never. You would always use you would always use white in anything you do. Is that no? I mean, sorry. In watercolor, you don't use white. You leave your paper white.
Well, you can do, but I mean, if you want to add white, I wouldn't add watercolor white because it's so weak and so transparent that it's not worth doing. So what most watercolorists do is they add gouache, which is an opaque white,
right?
And it can stand up to anything that comes up against it. Just think of painting as a little miniature battlefield, and these different colors.
think of painting as a little miniature battlefield.
It is. It's a little battlefield, and they're all wanting to dominate the painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every colour says, "I'm the best. I'm the best." So, and it tries to prove it. And when one colour comes up against it, when one colour comes up against another colour,
oh my goodness!
It either sinks or swims.
How did you create the black for the butterfly again? Ultramarine
blue and burnt umber, which is a dark brown.
Oh, that was it? Just those two colors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Other artists use different combinations. There are many different
there's loads of different
combinations. Many different combinations.
Oh yeah. That's a classic. It's just one that lots of people use. I'm not teaching you anything here that's brand new, I can assure you.
Well, to some people it might be brand new, yeah.
Well, it might be. But to be frank,
and then Chrissy Canvas Art says that black actually has a lot of blue in it.
Yeah, well, as far as pigment is concerned, there is no such thing as black as a colour. It does not exist. And neither does white.
Really?
Ironical, yeah. White is all the colours together. Right? We see colours because they're split. You know, like a spectrum, and you see a rainbow of colours. That's what we see. All the colours reacting differently to the different surfaces that the light photons hit. Right? So that's what it is, really. It's just I'm forgetting what I'm doing. I'm going into science and I'm forgetting what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, he's too distracted.
I'm getting too I'm going down what's called a rabbit hole.
Chrissy Canvas Art says, yes, I use ultramarine blue and burnt umber all the time. She uses that all the time. But she uses other combinations. I've seen her on her show, and she does use other combinations to create black also.
You can do. I mean, thing is, you've got to also look at it from, do you want it to be something in the distance? Do you want it to be a warm black? Do you want it to be a cool black?
Oh, right.
There are different types of black.
The other day, there was a alcohol ink that looked totally gray, and I put it on my paper, and then I painted with it, and I'm like, oh, that's like tan, because it's a warm gray. It's a warm gray. So the warm gray looked tan, and I'm like, that's not what people usually associate with gray. I'm sure that person didn't because it was a color challenge, and I'm sure that's not what she thought of when she thought of gray. So I know you had suggested during my live stream that I should mix these certain colors, but I went and had used the silver, because the silver is the gray that most people, that color gray is what most people associate with gray.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, using psychology sometimes works, because, like blue, for example, they think cool. So people think about
blue instead of a warm blue.
Well, thing is, people associate blue with cool.
Oh yes, a cool color, but then cool colors could be on the warmest side or or totally on the cool side.
In real science, blue is actually warmer than red. But
are you kidding?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, you look at color temperature. The temperature of blue is a lot higher than what red is.
Oh my goodness! How could that be?
It's just that over centuries, culturally speaking, we've associated blue.
Yes, blue, purple, and green are the cool colors.
And that's what it is. And that's down to, like, when you look at things that are cold, they generally tend to be blue. Like cool things like snow and ice and whereas hot things tend to look red, which is weird. Because I don't know. In saying that, if you've ever actually seen a proper blue flame that cuts through metal, that's hotter than what a red flame is that comes from your fire.
Oh, we have somebody in here says, Christopher Bacon says, I think white is the hottest color. I don't know.
Well, I know what you mean, but white isn't a colour. It's a combination of all the values of colour all together. That's what we were talking about.
For black, isn't black a combination of all the colors?
No, black is the absence of photonic light.
Oh, okay.
If there's no light, if you turn all the lights off in your room at night,
that's dark, so weird. Okay, all right.
So that's because there's no light producing photons that will
it's kind of weird. Because, and then they say white, which you would think like white is the absence of color, but it's not. White is like all the colors, right?
Yeah, white is the colors all together. That's how they found out about color, when they split the light with a spectrum thing. You know one of those triangle things, and you beam light into it, and it splits all the color into the color of the rainbow.
I think I know what you mean. Yes, I've heard that before. Right?
A prism. That's what they're called.
The prism. Right.
Right. How far are we in? We're quite late, aren't we? But I'm gonna very quickly.
Right now, 2 minutes past. Well,
I'm going to very quickly crack on with this, because we're doing more waffling and less painting.
Waffling. So, waffling. We're waffling.
All right, while I'm in the frame of mind of getting this purpley thing done, all I'm going to do with this is purple thistle. I'm not really bothered about it. It's just something for it to land on. So I'm just going to go.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See if I can get a more vibrant colour into it.
And if anybody has good social media, please share this out.
Okay.
Share this out on your Twitter. I just shared it out on my Twitter, but my Twitter is not as good as I know. Some people have really good Twitter. They have really good Twitter following, and they're very active. So if you do have a very active Twitter account, please share this out. And let me put in the chat again. Ian's channel. Okay, hold on.
Right, I'm going to make a start with, and I'm rushing now. We're running out of time, because we're already going into it next hour.
Do you have to stop at 6 o'clock because of other priorities?
No, it's just I wanted it to be around about 2 hours. This,
right.
And we're already into the second hour now.
Let me see.
So
the white, you're not painting. You don't need to use gouache for your white. You're just leaving the white.
I'm just leaving the white. Simple as that. Paper. Because I'm stingy and I don't want to use paint.
That's our first the poll survey. Insect was the #1 vote, and so he's painting an insect, which is a butterfly, and the next one is the second one that was winning, which was fish. He's going to be painting a type of fish in the next hour.
I'm not going to be that long with this one now. I feel I'm not far from, because we're only doing a loose impression. You know, and do you know what? If you're wanting to do animals, the best thing you can do is do lots of little loose paintings.
Are you using the
No,
same brush the whole time, or do you switch brushes?
no. I'm forgetting big random expressions. I'm using this one. When I want to like move on to a slightly more you know, expression, you know, more well arranged thing like this, I'm gonna.
Oh my goodness, you should see what Chrissy wrote. Chrissy Canvas Art. She goes, it's 10 p.m. here, and I am laughing at you two waffling.
I know,
What
waffling.
did she say? What did she say? Waffling on. LOL.
Waffling on. That's
We're,
it. Good
are
old.
we waffling?
We don't mind a bit of waffling though, do we,
What is
Chrissy?
waffling? What's waffling mean?
Waffling just means aimlessly talking about stuff.
We're
Waffle,
not
waffle, waffle.
aimlessly talking. Come on, Chrissy. No, we're not.
Well, no, it's not necessarily aimlessly talking. It's more to do with like talking, but when the priority is getting on with what we're supposed to be doing rather than talking about it. If you know what I mean, that's
And
waffling.
Chrissy says she's clapping hands emojis, and then she says, "I want to see blowfish." So,
Well,
yeah,
strangely enough,
going to be what's next.
strangely enough, I think is that what it is. That other, I don't know. It's a weird.
No, those are tropical fish.
I thought it were a delicate, a decorative goldfish.
Yeah, I didn't. Yes, I think it is a. Do they have such a thing as a decorative goldfish? I think it is a type. No, gold. I know that koi can come in white, gray, and orange. So I'm not sure about goldfish if they can come in different colors too.
I think it's part of carp, koi carp family. It looks
And
like a gold. It looks like a goldfish to me. Anyway, we're going to call it a decorative goldfish because that's what I want to
okay,
call it.
okay.
Because I don't honestly, I don't know what that. It's weird.
Oh, I got to put your chat. I mean, I get distracted by the chat. I have to I have to catch up with the chat. And Christopher Bacon says, Chrissy, sometimes they banter. I like it. And Chrissy Campus Art says, I know, Christopher. LOL.
Yes, I know. Chrissy is quite used to me, so I'm a moderator on a very good channel. If you want to go and have a look at some of Chrissy's
channel.
And Chrissy is a specialist in acrylics mostly, but she does dabble. She does dabble as well.
She says that watercolor
oil.
does not like her. She says watercolor does not like her, and she specializes in oil and acrylic, not together, but acrylic paintings and oil paintings.
Actually, strangely enough, some of the best paintings I've ever seen of were combinations of acrylics and oil. If you get it right, it's you can get a really special finish out of it.
What, acrylic and oil?
Yeah, you do. You do your acrylic first because you can't paint acrylic over oil.
Right.
And then you finish.
You should see what I've done.
Sorry, you do your oil first. I can't remember.
No. You have to do acrylic first, and oil on top of acrylic.
And your oil on top of your. That's it. Yeah. And you can get some really nice finishes.
You should see what I've done with my encaustic. I don't have the space or the ventilation for encaustic right now, but encaustic with oil and collage, those are my best paintings. My encaustic, oil, and collage are my best.
I'm just gonna dry it off so there's no glare so you can see the final end product. But I'm about finished. And like I said,
If you have a live stream tonight, I hope I'm going to catch it. If not, I'm going to check out one of your videos. Oh my goodness. I see this butterfly. I'm thinking Buffalo Bill. I don't know what you mean by, I don't know what you mean, Christopher.
Right. So, like I was saying earlier, one of the best ways to practice like insects and small animals is do little thumbnail pictures this big. Don't over elaborate, and just have fun doing the patterns and the shapes.
Oh, I like, yes, when you work smaller, I think it's more controllable, and you can just, I think you can control it so much better when you work really small, and yeah.
But don't be like trying to be fiddly like that and do every tiny little angle. Just get your brush and let the brush do the painting. Ooh.
But you're working different, you're using different size brushes, right?
Yeah, you can do. You probably need about 2 or 3 brushes to do that, which is what I've used. So right, that's that done.
That's that. We're ready for the fish.
Fish. Now I'm just gonna have to.
Oh, you're gonna do it up there on that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up there now.
Yeah, because if anybody likes these, they're gonna they'd be really small for
Right, I'm gonna move.
I have to put. Oh my goodness, I got to put his link in again. Okay. Hopefully, I saved it, and there we go. There we go. Please check out Ian Jackson's channel, and there's his link. He can do commissions of people, places, or things. Anybody that interested in having a original watercolor painting of people, places, or things, he can do it. Like family members, your grandchildren, all that kind of thing. Things, your house, if you wanted a portrait of your house.
This is a good way to do it. You could do it if you got a big enough piece of paper. You could do 3 animals: an insect, a fish, a mammal, all in one page, and like combine them all together as a picture.
So combine what all together again? What was that again?
All 3 types of animal. I'm only doing 2 today because time don't allow a third one. But on one page, you can like do a couple there. So I'm going to do fish there now, and I'm going to once I've done, I'm going to blend that so it like kind of blends into the water.
But you were saying you could probably do a combination of 3 animals?
Yeah. Well, normally when you do images like small images, you do what's called a triptych.
Yes,
which is a combination of 3 separate images.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, this is a 2-1 based one, but you could have, I mean, if I had bigger paper, I could do, you know, I don't know, a deer or something like that at the top.
And Christopher Baker saying, could you paint an alien sometime?
I've not got very many references to aliens.
Oh, there's tons of references for aliens.
If you can go to Area 51 and pick me one up.
Monster? What about a monster?
Do you know what I have? I've done quite a few Godzillas.
He's done it. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Only one I find hard to do is wait for it because she's going to have an heart attack. A blob.
Why is she going to have a heart attack?
She don't like the blob. I'll let Chrissy explain why she don't like it. I'm about to just go and change my water as it's gone to a weird consistent colour. I'll be back in a bit.
Oh, wait, let me catch up with the chat. Hold on. Ian's he has to change his water. Let's see. Oh my god. Okay, so the last thing I think was Christopher Bacon said SpongeBob says imagination. Oh yeah, right. Chrissy Canvas Art says bloody blob. Ew, I don't want to see bloody blob. No. He's pooping. No, no, no. You guys freak me out. No. My friend changed the name of Nightbot. She changed it to Heiferbot because she does things in the country about heifer cows. But I'm gonna see if I can change the name of Nightbot to something else. Because she did. My friend did. She changed it to Heiferbot.
Yee. I know I'm organised now because I've got 2 pots of water. One for when I get it mucky, and other one for using now.
Yeah, like clean off your dirty brushes in one, and then get the clean water. Use the clean water for your when you want clean water on your brush. Use the one for the dirty water and one for the clean water.
I need. Let's see if I can move that on to next. Yes, we can. Great. Right. So this may not even look like a fish, guys. Honestly, it's like
What?
a really.
It's not gonna look.
It's a poor excuse for a fish. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why is that?
I don't know. It looks like a fish, but it looks a bit pompous for a fish.
What, you had a problem with the photo I sent you?
No, not at all. You can only work with what you got. And but it I don't know. It's got an attitude. This fish.
No, the thing that I thought about the fish was that it had delicate fins that you might have a problem with because of like you can't. You said flowers.
Oh, I know.
Flowers.
I know. Make it as hard as you possibly can for that poor Ian.
No, I want to give you a challenge. I don't want to make it too easy, but the fins are very delicate. They're very delicate, almost like a flower. And you said flowers were so hard for you.
It's got proper fish lips. This. It's weird.
Proper what?
Proper fish lips.
Oh yeah. Oh, he has to draw it first.
Very pouty lips.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I just noticed about how like the fins and the were very delicate, like a flower.
Everything about it is really decorative, and look at me. I'm a decorative goldfish. Really is, honestly. And then it's got at top of it, it's got this like bouffant like that. Bouffant. A bouffant.
Oh, I did see that part on the top. I was like wondering what that was.
I don't know. It's probably its brain.
Everybody,
you know, goldfish have only got a 2 minute, a 2 minute memory. Goldfish, which is a minute longer than what I've got. But that might be an extension. It might be an extension for fitting like an extra memory pack. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't a clue. It's one of the weirdest fishes I've ever come across.
It's one of the weirdest fishes I ever come across. I sent him the photo. It's a royalty-free photo from Pixabay. It's royalty-free.
And if it don't look like a fish, blame Dan.
All right, okay, blame him. Oh my goodness, Christopher Bacon said, like a Kylie Jenner fish. I don't know what that's.
I honestly don't know what type of fish it is. It just reminded me of a really what they used to call decorative goldfish. It might even be a family member, guppy family.
Too much.
Hey?
And then Christopher Bacon says, Ian, you think too much.
I know. It's one of my great weaknesses, that.
It's one of your what?
It's one of my great weaknesses.
Oh yeah.
I think too
Yeah, I
much.
probably need to.
Don't think, do. Isn't that what they call him said? Bruce Lee. Don't think, do.
I don't know. I don't know Bruce Lee. I don't follow him. Okay.
No, you don't. He's dead. Now you think that I'm gonna struggle with doing these like fluffy bits at the back, don't you? Well, I've got an idea of how I'm gonna do that. So no.
On which parts?
These fluffy bits at the back.
Fluffy. I thought I had noticed that the fins and everything were translucent.
Yeah.
Translucent.
They almost look almost
they're
like
not opaque white.
they almost look ghostly, don't they? Very transparent.
No, I didn't think ghostly, but I thought, oh no, I think this is going to remind him of later on after I chose it, I thought, oh, I think this is going to remind him of the flowers that he finds so hard to do because they're translucent.
It's not easy. It's not easy because there's that delicate. It's not something that you can easily do in an hour. I can tell you that for nothing.
All right.
But we're not here to. This is quick and fast painting.
Okay.
So we're just gonna get a representation.
All right. Okay, so not quick and fast.
I'm not going for 100 hours extra. What do they call them? Them type of paintings where you can see every miniature thing on it.
Oh my goodness! Christy said it's 10 p.m. here, and I am laughing at you. I'm laughing at you too. She said she's laughing at us too. Wait, where is it?
We're gonna be probably another hour with this, and then that's it. We're done. So panic ye not. Right. So there you go. You got. I know I've not.
Wait,
I've not particularly described that very well. But that's your fishing place.
Okay, I'm just trying to catch up with the chat to tell you. Okay, hold on.
All right. Right, let's see if I can find a nice blue. Oh, there you go, some nice blue. Right, with this painting, there's hints of blue, right, which you'd expect in water. But most of it is actually really, really dark, which is good because the fish is mostly really, really light, which means great contrast. Yay.
Yeah, you want a contrast.
That's it. If you can get things that have those combinations, you're on a winner.
Yeah, that picture did have contrast. That's what you like. What? You don't like doing a picture that is low contrast?
You can do low contrast work, but it's you have to make the art stand out in a different way.
Oh, they're talking about Bruce Lee they're talking about Bruce Lee in the chat. Yes, I remember when he died. And then Chrissy Canvas says he died in 1973.
Did he die in 73? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Plane crash? Was it a plane crash?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that. Again, I'm going to go for, because my brain's not thinking about anything else other than
fish. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to see if I can make a
no.
Right. Is that official?
It's going to tell us telling us how Bruce Lee died. He died of a cerebral edema.
Did he?
Yeah,
I know it was something really weird.
A cerebral edema.
Yeah.
Not a plane crash.
No, it didn't. That didn't sound like what happened with Bruce Lee, though. Lots of people have died from plane crashes.
Oh yeah, like
unfortunately, not Bruce Lee. Well, fortunately, not Bruce Lee.
Oh, I just clicked on my previous chat and let me. Why does that say that's live? That's not live now.
Oh, do you know sometimes they can stay live?
Oh my goodness!
You have to be careful. On. You have to go back and watch them and be really.
Oh my
right,
goodness!
So, right.
The same thing I did this afternoon was live. Let me see. How did I get back to where I'm? Where?
You'll have to do it later.
Oh my goodness! That keeps saying it's live.
Well, there's no you can do about it at the moment because you're already
right
live.
now I'm trying to get back to our live. All I want to do is get back to our live. So hold on. Oh,
so what I'm doing here is producing a very inky blue black.
All right, inky blue black is good.
Because that is the kind of colour you'll get in that. But always remember, make sure you've done it a little bit more than what you want it to be.
Why? It's going to dry lighter, right?
If it's going to be dark, if you think it's dark, make it that little bit more dark.
Except for acrylic paint, I just recently learned that acrylic paint dries lighter.
Well, that's what it does.
But watercolor paint dries. Wait a minute. Watercolor paint dries darker.
Watercolor paint dries lighter.
Oh wait.
But it all depends.
Acrylic paint dries darker. Okay.
It all depends on. Well, that's just a generalism. It all depends on the what they call it, the pigment that is used. That's what determines whether it dries light or not. The type of pigment and what they do to it. It's not the genre generally. It's not acrylics do this and watercolors do that. It's the pigments. Certain more pigments are used in watercolor in that particular direction than are used in acrylics, for example. And that's the reason why you sometimes get more of a bias towards one side or other. But it's nothing to do with the paints themselves. It's to do with the pigments that are used within them.
Yes, I get it. Okay, I just posted your channel link again. Please check out Ian Jackson's channel.
Just to add a little bit more of
grayscale painting,
color interest.
Okay, because, and grayscale painting is very he's very expert on acrylic. He said acrylic has no gloss. It dries flat, so it gives the appearance of a darker shade.
Right. But then again, watercolor is has no gloss. That's a matte finish. And you can get some acrylics in certain acrylic paints that are quite glossy anyway. Just down to the natural. It really is the pigment that makes the difference. Right.
It's totally different. Watercolor pigment's different than acrylic pigment.
No, but pigments are the basis for all paints. Every paint, other than a dye-based paint, is made from pigment, right? Which is ground up bits of whatever.
Right, so then it's the binders that make the difference, right?
Yes. In watercolor, it's generally gum arabic. See what I'm doing? Can you see what I'm doing? I'm dragging some of that paint.
Oh, yeah, from the background onto that?
From the background onto it.
Oh, that's nice.
And that does it.
Oh, here we go. Grayscale painting. He knows a lot about paint. But I'm okay. Watercolor is obviously, oh my goodness, hold on, a thinner medium, and you have the white of the paper showing through. If you have a color in watercolor that uses granular as pigment, it will stain, which will cover up the, well, he didn't finish that, cover up the white.
Yeah, it kind of well, generally staining colors are ones that are made with dye, and a lot of watercolorists tend to avoid dye-based watercolors because that's what it does. It kind of like dominates the white of the paper. So that's why you'll hear watercolorists talking about single pigment paints. They're the best to go for.
Christopher Baker says, he wanted to see the scales. Well,
we will do.
Yet. Maybe
we
you haven't
do.
gotten to that yet, or you're not gotten to that yet.
Oh no! Well, I've got this wet area, and I can pull some of that into it. The reason why you see that flowy kind of translucentness on these bits here is because, yeah, it's very transparent, and what you're seeing is the other side, which is that color. So basically, I'm while that's wet, I might as well drag a bit of it in. So it's best to do that then. It's about managing your painting and thinking about when to do a particular thing. And remember,
Christopher says the fish seems to jump out like 3D already. Jumped out like 3D.
Yeah, it will do, because the dark there is really pushing this light forward. That will go back a little bit as I put more bits in it.
Do you think will you be painting scales? Because that's what Christopher wants to know. Will you be painting scales?
I'll give a hint of it, but
a hint of it.
To be frank, one of the worst things you can do unless you're doing hyperrealism is paint every scale in. It just don't look right. It looks.
Do you ever paint hyperrealism?
Not very often, no. I ain't got patience for it.
But you follow that YouTube artist, what's her name? Lacree.
Yeah, but pencil.
Does hyperrealism, but she doesn't paint watercolor. She paints acrylic.
She's a pencil sketcher, and pencil sketchers do very realistic work.
Pencil, but she also paints acrylic, I think.
What I will do is, you see, it might be a bit. What you can do is create texture.
Oh my goodness. Chrissy Canvas Art says, you should have used Brusho, Ian. What's Brusho?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can. It's like a powder. Again, it's like a pigment, but it's extremely strong. You put it on, and you put spray water on it, and it explodes.
Oh yeah, I know that stuff. and well, I have stuff like that that explodes into iridescent colors, pearlescent iridescent colors. It's called magical something, I forget.
Yeah, well, it's similar to that. Yeah, I'm wanting now to do.
In it,
You know, you see how I've got my brush now? It's very, very dry. It's not. It's got plenty of paint in it, but the paint is fairly dry. And what I'm going to do to create.
And is your paper wet? Is your paper moist?
Well, that bit is. I'm going to avoid that bit. But what I'm going to do is use that to create texture and go. Right, so that's my first layer.
That looks good.
And it also looks painterly, but it also expressive as well. Rather than like trying to paint every individual scale. I can see every individual scale, but I'm not going to paint it. I just want to give an impression that that's what it is. But there's ways of doing that and dealing with it, and we'll do it. This brush might be a little bit big for it, to be honest with you. In fact, I am going to change it up now because it's a different. We're getting into detail, and I've not switched over the brushes, so I'm going to come down to a much smaller brush.
Chrissy's still here. She says Inktense. You know the brand of Inktense. Inktense is an excellent medium, also.
Oh, Inktense. Yeah.
I've heard of Inktense. They're like watercolor pencils, right?
They're similar to watercolor pencils, yeah. Although when they're permanent, when they're dry, they are permanent.
Oh, well, so is watercolor. Watercolor,
No,
it's dry permanent.
No.
If not,
you can re-wet. You can when it's dry. You can re-wet watercolor.
You can re-wet watercolor. I've never heard really.
Well,
look
at this, right? Look at this. Right, these are all my colours, right? They go dry. If I put water on them, they go wet again. Then I can use them. So that's what happens with watercolor. The water soluble.
Okay.
Here we go. Right, let's just right at the back here.
Okay.
What I'm thinking,
you can get them in blocks and pencils.
I've got to say, I'm more of a block person than the pencils. The pencils, although the pencils you can do a lot of detailed work with the pencils, but for me, for expressiveness, you can't beat the blocks.
I never really are good. That. When do you ever use Inktense blocks?
A lot, but it's not something I do. I use for anything. I'm not that good at teaching that kind of stuff, so I don't bother. It's something I like to experiment with when I do mixed media work, but it's not something that I'm gonna start turning around and saying, "Hey, look at me! This is how you do it." Because, to be frank, I'm not new to it, but neither am I an expert. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Right.
Oh wait, Christopher. Wait a minute, hold
Let's
on.
look at that. I've wet that.
I
I've
just
wet
can't.
that now.
Sure.
Right.
Hold on. Somebody
I'm
had to
gonna
say.
take a little bit out, like that, and now I'm gonna start going like this.
What's that? A spray bottle of water?
No, it's my brush.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is your brush?
Yeah, and I'm putting marks into it. Can you see it's starting to make?
Yes. Oh, yes, I see that. Yes.
Can you? And when you're talking about expressive art and not doing things on an overly
That's on
detailed level,
expressive art. Yes.
you want to be doing stuff like that rather than trying to trying to do everything in absolute detail all the time.
Yep, I'm all for that.
Let's see if I can get some paint on that. And it's almost as though you're drawing. And
Yes,
that will
right.
give
You're drawing. Yes, you're right.
that will give you the impression that the scale's there. We are having to faff about doing scales.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, nice.
So let's get a little bit of that there. It's a bit dark, that.
Did you say flowers are one of the hardest things for you to paint?
Only from the viewpoint that I'm a bit, I don't know, I'm a bit heavy-handed, and flowers are very delicate things. I'm a bloke. It's a womany kind of thing. I don't know. Might be
Okay.
wrong on that. I
I
don't know
remember
that many.
bloke means you're a guy. Bloke is the word for a guy.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Those
I mean,
few people that are in here, bloke is another word for guy.
it is more the domain of women painting flowers, because I don't know, you've got like a temperament that you can paint pretty flowers, whereas I ain't got time for stuff like that. I really am.
Oh, okay.
It's more to do with that than I'd sooner do some other thing other than flowers.
Wait, you don't paint flowers that often?
Hey?
You do not paint flowers that often?
I avoid it as often as I possibly can, yeah.
Oh God, okay.
Because I think there's other people who can do it better than I can, and why do something if somebody else is doing it 1,000 times better than you? No, go and learn off that.
You might as well say that about art in general.
Yeah, but all of us have got something to contribute to art, right? But I'm not going to turn around and say to you that I'm an all-round expert in every form of art on the planet. I'm not at all.
No, you're expert in watercolor. No, you're not. No, you're not an expert in watercolor.
I'm reasonably good in certain areas.
Excellent.
But that, put it this way, I could recommend you to certain people who are very good at doing flowers if you wanted to do flowers.
Oh, okay.
Because if you were learning from me in that sense, you'd learn a bit, but you won't probably learn
not about flowers. No,
absolutely the best way. Because I don't really concentrate on that area.
Right.
And I think it's really important to look at people who know what they're doing and can express themselves freely and say, look, this is how it's done, and show you, and you understand how it's working. because otherwise, if you come away more confused, then you've wasted your time, haven't you?
Oh, I don't know. That just means you have to go to, yeah, you learned and you have to go to the next person.
Well, exactly. You might as well have gone to a person who knows how to do it in first place.
Well, yeah, but you didn't know that. So oh God, so you should,
Well,
you didn't know that at first. So it was a learning experience. Try the next person.
so I mean, it's fairly easy to look up people on internet, isn't it, to see whether they're specialist. If it says specialist watercolor,
YouTube,
specialist,
on YouTube, right?
specialist flower painter, and that's all you ever see on the thumbnails,
Oh
flowers.
yeah, there is a woman that I know. Yeah, she
Yeah,
pretty much only paints flowers. Yeah,
there's dozens of them, and that's what they do. Watch them because they know what they're
right.
doing. Because that's all they ever do. That don't make them a great artist in any way, but it does show that they are specialists who know how to do that particular area of art. And it's always good to watch.
Okay, what's the name of that watercolor artist that you think is the best in the world?
Oh, I don't know. Alvaro Castanet.
Alvaro Castanet.
Yeah, he's recognised as one of the leading watercolor artists on the planet.
Okay, if I can remember that. Okay, I'm putting. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh my goodness.
And there's not an awful lot more to do on this, believe it or not. I'm just gonna, and this is where scales do come in, because I'm gonna very simply just cross hatch like that. A bit of that dark
What is this?
from the bottom like that. So I hope I've answered that question
Really?
with regards to scale.
The photo I saw, like the back, the tail and the fins were like bluish color, but you're totally not doing that.
Well, I've done that really dark inky blue, right?
Oh,
and just dragged some of that inky blue into there
I see.
to give it that almost transparent kind of feel.
And the head, the shape of that head, that weird thing on the head is totally there. That's there like it was.
I mean, for a quick impression, I mean, I could have spent all day getting it drawn up and everything.
Right.
And what have you, but you know, we're just creating a basic impression of what we're doing here, aren't we? It's not, and expressive. We're not working towards absolute realism. So we're not going to get that.
But in a lot of your paintings, you do, right? You do try to work for realism, right? That's what I think. Most of your paintings, I would say, you're trying to work for total realism.
No, I'm not. I'm very impressionistic.
Oh my God, you're impressionistic?
Yeah, but I don't go for absolute realism.
Do you love the Impressionists?
No, I mean, ironically enough, I absolutely hate the impression. No, I'll not say
the Impressionists. Like Monet. Monet.
I'll not blanket hate them. Some of the techniques that they brought to us are great. I don't like impressionist paintings that are purely impressionist.
Like
because
which one?
Just, well, Monet, for example, I'm going to use him. Some of his paintings are fantastic. Don't get me wrong,
right.
But it's just like the monotony of the same process all the time.
Do you like Van Gogh? He was not impressionist. He's post-impressionistic.
Yeah, but then again, it's still of that similar genre. The types of artists I like were the pre-Raphaelite artists.
Okay.
Have you seen any of their work?
I know I mean, I've heard of that genre, but I can't recall it in my head.
I mean, it's ironic that one of my favorite artists is Turner, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
he was not watercolor, right? He was not watercolor, right?
Oh yeah, he did 16,000 watercolor paintings.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What's his first name?
Is it John? John
Sure.
JMW Turner.
Okay.
JMW Turner.
Okay.
That's how he's known anyway. So I don't really know what more else to do on that.
All right. Let
me just.
And I posted I keep telling people if they want to contact you, I'm gonna put your link in again. We don't have many people in here, and there some people, they've told me that they can't participate in the chat, but they watch and listen. I mean, they don't watch, but they listen.
Well, we love our lurkers,
listeners, but we don't have that many people participating in the chat because we have a bunch of listeners.
That's it.
But here's
we love our lurkers.
Oh my God, I have to get it again. I lost it. Hold on. For Ian, he does work on commissions. He works on commissions if you want person, place, or thing.
Although that's not what I'm here for, by the way. I'm here to.
He's not here for that, but
you know,
I thought you would appreciate that for me to plug you.
Look, if anybody wants to commission me, they're more than welcome to do so. But generally, I come on YouTube and social media to help people out because I get a lot of help from YouTube and social media myself, and that's the motivation for me.
Here, because okay, here's Ian's link again, his YouTube channel, and you can contact him through that. But that's not his main thing for being here. But okay.
I know you just purchased one off me, haven't you?
What?
You've just purchased one off me, haven't you?
YouTube what?
You have just purchased one off me.
Oh yeah. I want to support you.
Yes, thank you very much. Are you going to tell everybody all about it?
Support me by I'm trying to help you because you support me by coming every Friday, and I had to I searched through your paintings and I found one that I really resonated with me, that I really liked, and that's why.
Are you going to tell people all about that one, or do you want to keep that private?
I don't mind showing. I don't have a picture to show it.
Well, you don't have to show people. I'm just saying reasons why you went for that particular painting.
To show it. I would like to show the painting. Let me see if I have it in my let me get ready to show that in a future thing, and then I'll show it and I'll tell people. I don't care. I don't think I did not take a screenshot of it. I'm looking through my photo library. I did not take a screen because I would certainly tell people. I don't care. I'll tell them right now. There was a challenge that was done with frogs and toads. Come on, it's so crazy. So Dina Tollefson, she hosts a challenge almost every month or every 6 weeks. And this last challenge was called Totally Awesome. And she has a big pond in her backyard. And so totally is spelled TOAD. maybe ALLY, I don't know, totally awesome, because it stands for toad or frog. So the last challenge in September, which was due September 6th, was paint a toad or a frog. And so Ian painted, let's see, you have it with you? You packaged it already? Let me see.
No, it is packaged. I put it in a package
already. I went through it. He does not have a website. I go through his Facebook. If you want to see pictures of his work that you might want to buy or purchase, you have to go to his Facebook business site, and he will have pictures of watercolors that he's done. And what?
I'll put my Facebook thing there.
It's not Facebook.
It's a bit confusing because I've got this personal page that I never use, right?
The personal page is your
my profile page is the one that I use.
The profile page.
Yeah, and people get a bit confused with that. I don't know. Can you get rid of that other personal page? Because I don't ever use it.
So all I have put in the chat is your YouTube channel.
Right, so
that's the only link I put in the chat was your YouTube channel. But you said like it's called your profile page, because they usually call that a business page.
Yeah, well, it is a business page.
It's not your personal page.
If you make it a business page, there's a profile page and and some other page. I can't remember.
I know it.
I don't know why they have them. Why have two unless you want to make a business page?
Because in Facebook, it's usually your personal page and your business page is two different things.
Yeah, but I only made one with two things.
If you want to call it your profile page, because I can't put the link in it right now.
I don't know
about it.
Anyway, so right,
maybe after
the one you need to go to.
Tell people about it right now. I want to tell people like when I can show the picture, and maybe next time, I have the picture to show. I like to be able to show the picture, and I can't right now because I don't know where it is. Let me see. Do I have it on my? Do I have it like in my? I should have taken a screenshot of it. I have to look through.
I'll see if I can find it on mine in a bit. Where are you?
I have a woman kissing a frog, but I don't have it right now. But I just. Oh, where is it? Is it right there? No.
Where have you gone? There you are.
Kissing a frog, and I wanted to purchase that because it reminds me of that I got married late in life, and I kissed a lot of frogs before I married my prince.
Right, I'm putting it in the chat now.
Oh, you're gonna put it in right now. He's gonna put the watercolor right now. What?
No, not the watercolor. Me what they call it?
Your Facebook profile page.
Yeah. That's the actual proper. If anybody wants to contact me for whatever.
Yes, if you want to contact him through that link right there.
You can actually see a video of it being painted.
Yes, and you can see a video of it being painted.
The frog, by the way.
Right.
Let me just let's see if I can put the link in for that, and then you'll know what we're on about. I'm sure most people have actually looked at it by now anyway. That one. Copy. Right. So if you go to this will show you the frog.
That is the frog.
That you bought. The frog. Purchased by Diana.
And I can't. Oh goodness! Oh no! I like to be able to show that later on. Like we can't show that on the chat, though. I guess that's if you want to know what picture I purchased from Ian Jackson. Click that link right there. The last link.
It's the painting of what I did. You know, the actual challenge. It's not a photo of it. It's the video of me painting it.
Oh, that's the video of him painting it. Yeah.
Okay. The one above it that I've put in is my Facebook. If anybody wants to contact me. Right.
All right. Thank you for being here, Ian.
So let's just. I'm going to raise this up a bit. I'm going to raise my camera up so we can actually see things a bit better.
Two things you painted today.
Yeah, we had a couple of things to paint.
The insect and the fish, because I took a poll survey, and the insect won, actually. The insect won, but he painted the top two. The top two surveyed were insect and fish for painting an animal this week. So, and he painted both the top two that were surveyed. The top two that got voted were insect and fish. So he painted a butterfly and some kind of, some kind of goldfish, or I'm not sure what kind of fish.
We don't know what it is, but we call it
fish that is. Nope.
A decorative goldfish. So in a very loose way, we've done a couple of animal paintings there. And the way I got around doing all the scales is by just putting a wash of colour over it and then marking it out with back of my brush and then going over it a little bit, and it kind of like goes into the grooves, and you get a texture then rather than painting everything.
Because you dragged in the background paint into that fish, is that
little bits of excess paint there. We just once I've made marks in there, I've made marks into the paper with hatching and things like that. Literally, I've got the end of my brush and I've marked into it hard like that. Made a mark that look a little bit like scales. And then all I've done is got a bit of paint and dragged it into it. And that gives you the idea or the feel of scales without it being overbearing. Because you could paint every scale in, but that would make it look, I don't know, what do you want to paint all that for? Is it because you want to show that you're good at painting scales? I don't know. It's only a component. It's only a component part.
I think that the fish was harder for you than the butterfly. Is that correct?
It can be, yeah. The butterflies are dead easy.
Because the fish I saw when I sent the photo to you, it had translucent. You didn't include the thing on the side. It had.
I kind of ran out of space there because again,
bluish, and you did not include bluish.
It should have been a little bit further in that way, so it's not as traily. But if you look, there's the intense white bit.
Oh yeah, right.
And there.
Yes, right.
What I did is I dragged in some of that colour from this dark area into there.
Right.
And into there. So it is there. Probably because you can't see it very well.
Was easier. The butterfly was easier?
Yeah, they're pretty simple butterflies.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do, little thumbnail paintings, and get good at doing it.
Is that what you call it? These are like thumbnail paintings?
Well, it's a bit bigger than a thumbnail.
A little bit bigger.
I mean, if you're doing a thumbnail, it'd be about that sort of size.
Right, it's bigger than thumbnail, right.
Two of them would be a thumbnail, and just practice doing little ones like that. And when you get confident, do a bigger one. And that's how you progress. Don't try doing a butterfly that big and that detailed and that complex. You know, the size of the page, because you'll have a right job on your hands. Just try the techniques in a small painting.
Well, Chrissy Canvas Art was like the most active at the end, like the last 5-10 minutes. She was the one that commented the most, and she's not even a watercolor artist. She says watercolor does not like her. She is acrylic and oil. So
she loves her art though.
We have people. I do know that I have people that we have 5 watching now here at the end, and I do know that I have supporters that can't participate in the chat, and they just put it on listen, so they listen to the whole thing. And I appreciate everybody. Thank you, your watchers. Thank you, watchers that cannot participate in the chat because of life things going on, and so I appreciate them so much because even though they cannot participate in the chat like Chrissy Canvas Art did, but she has to go to bed now because she's she's around.
It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock at night here, and everybody's going to bed.
Grayscale Painting says both your paintings are wonderful. Have you ever visited Grayscale Painting's channel?
Yeah, I've been on. In fact, I'm subscribed to him.
Oh, okay. Grayscale Painting says both your paintings are wonderful, Ian. Yep. Yeah. And it's past 6 o'clock, and I really have to go. And I don't know if I might be on later tonight. I don't know. I was already on this morning impromptu. This was my schedule. This one is my scheduled one, my scheduled live stream. And if I have time, I might be on again tonight. I'm not sure. Okay.
So we need to figure out for next week.
Wow, I don't know what you're gonna do. What?
Whatever. Well, if people can get some information into us before
architecture.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know what you want to do.
Well, I'm here to serve.
Do you want me to take another poll survey?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll talk to you.
We'll see.
I'll talk to you.
If somebody wants to send an image in, by all means, do it. And then if somebody wants to send an image in.
Oh, an image. Yes, if you want, let me know. My email is right in my business, my about section of my YouTube channel. If you want a person, place, or thing that Ian, you want to suggest for Ian to paint, let me know. Let us both know. There's his channel. I linked it. I already linked it in the chat. Let me or him know. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, then I'll just say goodbye to people in chat.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody in chat. Thank you so much to my moderators, and thank you to. Yes.
Yeah, that's us. All right.
Let's see who. Oh yeah, Grayscale Painting is saying stuff. Oh, bye. He's saying Ian saying bye all.
No, you only got one.
He may be on tonight on YouTube. Hopefully I can catch it.
Well,
Carolyn to be free says take care. Thank you, Carolyn, for listening.
If I'm up at that time, I'll see if I can bob in. Thank
you, Carolyn. You're so sweet. Thank you so much for listening. I know you were one of the watchers that could not participate in the chat. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
All right then.
Okay. Bye, and have a great evening. Or maybe you're gonna paint all night, or no.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I might go and get some porridge and see how I feel.
Okay. Bye, everybody.